Action-orientated people chunk their time. And those of you who've listened to my material or watched my material on managing your time, this is so important, and you'll be familiar with this whole concept of chunking, okay? So we begin to overcome procrastination when we allocate time slots to specific actions and then we commit to them. We allocate time slots to specific actions and then we commit to those particular time slots. Even if it's recreation, where you say to yourself, okay, this Saturday, from 8 to 9:30, that's my exercise time, right? I like chunking time into maybe 90-minute slots. If I'm doing a long run, okay, 90 minutes or 2 hours, right? Then I have my devotion period, for a certain period. Then I have this, then I have that. And then, I'm watching soccer with the kids. I'm playing soccer with the kids. Your time is chunked and you commit to that allocation of time. You see, chunking your time means that you allocate specific activities into specific time slots. And I'm telling you right now, if you don't do that, you tend to procrastinate. Try to avoid saying things like, okay, I'll do it later on this week. Commit to, rather say, I'll do it on Thursday morning after I've dropped off the kids at school on my way to such and such. That's when I'll do it. Give it a slot and commit to that particular slot. Then you know you will do it. You see, we often struggle to find things. Have you noticed that? We often struggle to find things when they don't have a place. And I always say to my kids, I say to my family, everything must have its place. The reason you're looking for this and looking for that is you don't have a place for it. There must not be a temporary landing spot for anything. If you ask my family, they'll tell you, I never struggle to find my keys. You never hear me saying, where are my keys? Has anyone seen my keys? Why? There's no temporary landing spot for my car keys, okay? And there's a place for them. So I always find them in that particular place, unless they've dropped or something, all right? So that's important when it comes to things. But you know that it's also important when it comes to tasks and activities. You see, if your mindset is, I want to become a productive person, then have a time slot, have a place for the things that are important to you. They must be in your timetable, they must be in your schedule, otherwise they probably won't happen, okay? So we already do this with some things. So expand this thinking into areas of your life where you tend to procrastinate, okay? What are those things that you do, and you do them and you're very active about it because you've scheduled it, right? Translate that to other areas of your life. And the principle is here in Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verses 1 to 8. It says, there is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to uproot, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to tear down and a time to build, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to scatter stones and a time to gather them, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to search and a time to give up, a time to keep and a time to throw away, a time to tear and a time to mend, a time to be silent and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time for war and a time for peace. Now, a key statement is in the opening verse. There is a time for everything. This is so key if you want to overcome procrastination. There's a time for everything. Allocate your activities into a specific time slot. There is your breakthrough. And a season for every activity under the heavens. What is the right time to do a particular thing? Often people fail in life because they're doing the right things, but they're doing them at the wrong time. Have you noticed that? Okay. Now, some of the phrases that we tend to use that fuel our procrastination when we refuse to allocate activities into a time slot are phrases like this. Yeah, let's just play it by ear. The moment you hear someone saying that, it's probably not going to happen. Or, okay, we'll see. Okay, as it happens. Okay, I'll do it later this week. Later this week, why don't you commit to a specific time slot? Proverbs 24, verse 30 to 34 says, I went past the field of a sluggard, okay, a lazy person basically, past the vineyard of someone who has no sense. Thorns had come up everywhere. The ground was covered with weeds, and the stone wall was in ruins. I applied my heart to what I observed and learned a lesson from what I saw. A little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest, and poverty will come on you like a thief, and scarcity like an armed man. You know what the scary thing about this passage is? It doesn't say a lot of sleep. It just says a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest. It's basically talking about a little bit of laziness, a little bit of that I'll do it tomorrow attitude, a little bit of that passivity. And I'm going to do a whole message on overcoming passivity. Okay? And what happens? Scarcity comes upon you like an armed man. And here's the thing, a lot of people who are like this tend to blame other people. So this person was sleeping when it was time for working. Sadly, many people in these situations will not acknowledge that it was because of their procrastination. They'll assume it's because of some curse over their lives. You know, someone has bewitched them. Often they'll blame others for having an unfair advantage. It's those people. It's because I'm a woman. It's because I'm a man. Because I'm black. Because I'm white. Right? They do not typically take ownership of their passivity or, in some cases, laziness that is seen in their procrastination.